Without fire was frozen in the stream of tears. They still think of the past. And too many fullness, day after day. Misery, and too many fullness, day after day. Your passion, take it from me. Must will tell you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, must will tell you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they've wept for day after day. Without fire was frozen in the stream of tears. They still think of the past. Misery, and too many fullness, day after day. Misery, and too many fullness, day after day. Your passion, take it from me. Must will tell you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, must will tell you when to make yourself a hero.
Yo, 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 yo. What is good, people?
Hey!
It is the KOA podcast. Satsuki the Savage, everything animated. We are back. Apologies for the wait. You will see that we are down one member, unfortunately. C-Tactus is out with the sickness, but
Yes.
yeah. But we figured that the show must go on, so we're here to talk about some Fullmetal Alchemist, Kenshin, Sakamoto days, and other various stuff. What is good, Trayvon? What is good, Decrepit Storm? The KOA has returned.
That's
It has.
right.
True.
We were
true.
the KOA when it was just the two of us.
Absolutely. This time we're going to skip the news segment because we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the episodes that came out last week, as well as the ones that we did not cover. So we have 2 episodes of each. 2 episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist, 2 episodes of Kenshin, 2 episodes of Sakamoto Days. So this podcast is it's a little full. It's
a stacked one. It's a sizzling stacked one, and no news this week. Just anime.
Yeah.
All killer, no filler.
That is weird. Why is do you see the chat box? Why is it showing?
It says, "Hey loser, fight me."
Yeah, I did that as a test, but why is it still showing that? It should be showing the chat now. Let me see. I might. Oh, you know what it is?
What?
It might be this. Let me see if this works.
Trayvon just said this is gonna be a long one. Pause.
Does that change anything? No. Damn it.
I don't see anything that's different.
I can do this.
Just a little bit of stuff on the fly, people. While he's taking care of that, I guess I could read all this stuff off for you. We have a Patreon. Oh, it's in the link. Oh, it looks like chat's working perfect. Go ahead and subscribe to that. Only $1, people. $1 stinking. We also have a Blue Sky. so we can make biscuits. And so whenever we go live. Also, whenever we don't go live, like last week, you would have known up for us because we had something else come out around that time, and that was the supercut of '86. Over 8 hours of goodness fun came out last week, and yes, we included the slideshows that C Tactics made to defame himself around that time. That was certainly something, but of course, we had the evidence video of Ben admitting that he loved Vladilena, so that was also fun too. But yeah, 8 hours of goodness. I listened to it just to reminisce about the old times. There was times where we were struggling to get through Sasuke.
No,
Like literally,
I
like
know.
in the second half, we were like, I don't remember what happened. We would say that. I don't think we could get away with that anymore. We were like, yeah, I don't know what happened. And then you were like, damn it, I was hoping you would say something and jog my memory because I forgot too.
Yeah, 86 was I don't think was really a fan of 86 until somewhere in season 2, like somewhere like towards the back half of it. And that I think that was after a rewatch of it, but yeah, I was not a big fan of 86, and then C really was. So it was like a lot of conflict with that show.
Yeah, I liked the first part. I thought it was pretty good. But then when they introduced the lolly, that's when my disdain for it grew and grew. But I will admit, like the last 3 or 4 episodes were really good. Like it was pretty great. But it had its moments. 86 had great memories. Like I said, C Tactics, I know he loved the hell out of it for other reasons. But for the most part, it was fun. It was a fun little watch. It was fun listening to it all over again. A lot of people we lost along the way that we don't hear about anymore, like Scarlet Disaster.
Yeah.
That was a person that was hella into our podcast, and I don't think I've seen their name pop up there in years.
We are lost without Scarlet. That was our
Yeah.
I already forgot the name of the show. What was the name of that show?
Sunny Boy.
Sunny Boy. The
Yeah,
Sunny Boy explainer.
yeah, they really helped. And I think Scarlet Disaster, I totally thought was Decrepit Storm at one point. That's where the whole when I thought Decrepit was a girl thing just originated from. Ah, good times.
Good
Good
times.
times. But yeah, no news this week, so we're just going to skip that. Didn't really. I mean, a whole bunch of shit has happened, but let's just face it. World's always changing. Too much to go into right now. Let's just go into, I think, some of the best episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist. These 2 episodes were fantastic. These are episodes 53 and 54. Let's talk about 53. First off, Satsuki.
That's me.
Pretty damn good episode. Envy finally gets what's coming to her. Just that whole scene and that whole leading up to everything was great because before all that, Rory comes in, sees all the homunculus soldier zombie looking things, lights them all the fuck up, and they're pretty weak against fire. I think that's a safe thing to say. Just get a blowtorch just to get rid of these things.
Bug types.
They really are. Just
Yeah,
flayed them all.
It honestly just kind of devalued the struggle that everybody else was going through because it's like, wow, they're fighting so hard, and then Roy just comes in there and he's like, "But are we done?"
Yeah. He just does this Thanos snap and literally just is like, "Thanks."
Appreciate it.
Oh my god. It did do that, and then once we see Envy after being completely fixed and whatnot. She was, I guess, chasing that May, that little girl. Uh, I like how Scar was like, "You idiot! Why'd you bring her back here, you stupid little girl?" And she's like trying to hold back tears. She's like, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Oh.
You missed the biggest part where we had to now cancel Hawkeye, because one of the first things she says when she steps into the scene is, "We got to start shooting these white guys."
Oh, that's right. Hawkeye. I don't. I've known her for a long time. I secretly I'm not her friend anymore. I just want to let you know, Scar.
All ties.
I cut all ties. I denounce. I denounce everything about Hawkeye, saying these white guys. We gotta kill all these white guys. Whoa! I'm standing right here.
It's a far change from what she was doing in the Ishvalan War. I mean, is that progression?
I don't know. She hates all races,
Oh, yeah.
apparently.
So,
I mean, I guess it's a little progressive.
Long
Yeah.
ago, the homunculi lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Yeah. I wrote that quote down. Yeah. But
You can pretend I'm other people if you want. Yeah. I'm sorry.
essentially, Roy and the crew goes in here, and it's just Envy comes in the same time as Roy. They have their meeting, and I think this is the true definition of delayed gratification, of building up
really
to a moment and absolutely knocking it out of the park. This is why you shouldn't worry about waiting for moments like this, of taking your time with stuff like this, because it just makes it all the more satisfying. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. They lied, because this motherfucker was hot as shit.
That shit was straight fire.
Yeah. But absolutely, this was, I think, it's a moment everybody remembers from Fullmetal Alchemist, and it just, everything about it was perfect. I think this whole plot line was great, because it was something that always sat in the back of Roy Mustang's mind. It's something that motivated him throughout this entire series to go extra hard when it came to achieving this ambition of becoming a Fuhrer. And you started to see him sink deeper and deeper into the depths of being consumed by his revenge and whatnot, because he would always ask the homunculi when he would confront them, "Hey, do you know anything that about Hughes? What do you know about them?" And he wouldn't really get any answers. He would get the runaround, as he expressed. And then he finally found his person. And man, I think the reveal, even not even talking about like Roy and everything that happened with Envy afterwards, the whole reveal of Envy saying they were the ones who did it was great.
Yeah, they didn't. Envy didn't sugarcoat anything or whatever. It's like, you finally found me out. And I think, one of the coolest things about just that whole thing, other than the fact that Roy finally found Hughes' killer, was, I love this sort of thing where you never give the villain a chance to recover, never give them a chance to talk. He just straight up, like, she's monologuing, doing all this shit, and he just goes, boom, and just lights her up. And she's like, "Wait, I was talking. You stop!" Like that. I kid you not, man. I was just in the middle of the living room, just going, "Yeah, I like that bitch," because stuff like that is just so fun. Because, like you said, the payoff on it and the fact that Envy is such a despicable creature just makes it all the more great when they don't even have a time to regenerate. She's running from this man, and Roy's like, "Coward, get back here!" And everybody's like, "Roy, are you okay?" "I'm fine. I'm gonna murder this bitch."
I thought, because I'll kind of let you handle most of the Roy stuff.
Okay.
Going back to the reveal thing, it was so diabolical. It was just the realization and all the emotions that happened at once with Mustang realizing how Hughes met his demise, because Envy transforms into his wife, and because he just doesn't believe that somebody like Envy could have taken out Hughes. He goes like, how can an idiot like you take down Hughes? That doesn't seem likely. And then, of course, Envy transforms into his wife. And again, that sinking realization of how that all happened. And it's more than just how it happened. It's also like the severity.
Like he's imagining it.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost replaying in his head. He can see how Hughes met his demise, being, because we saw it, of course, with him or Envy transforming to his wife, him hesitating to throw the knife at her and then getting shot, and basically dying with the image of his wife shooting him, which is horrific,
tragic. Which
it just adds on to the fuel to the fire of Roy's anger.
No pun intended.
Yeah. And it intensifies his rage, because not only is Envy just copping up to being a person that murdered Hughes, his friend, but they're also bragging about it gleefully.
Yeah, without any kind of remorse or anything. Like, yeah, I did it. This is how I did it. Here's the gun I used to shoot him. Here's the form I did when I shot him. Oh, yeah, just people like that are just so absolutely despicable. When they get their comeuppance, it just makes it all the worthwhile, and definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, and this is also just makes villains great villains. I think being memorable is a big aspect of it. Because I don't think Envy is a character you forget in Fullmetal Alchemist. And yeah, like when you think about all the homunculi and what they've done in the series, Envy has been a very efficient character as far as not needing to kill a lot of people to have an impact on the series. It's like that Hughes thing is something that sparks so much. You can even go back to Envy transforming into an Emestrian soldier and killing an Ishvalan kid, which pretty much kickstarted that entire war. And again, that just adds to that character's villainy, and also just the fact that they take a lot of joy in doing it for the pure fact of seeing human struggle and fall into despair.
Yeah. Dan joins the chat and he says something very prolific. Where is Sea Tactics?
Well,
we buried him. Sorry.
Yeah, it was about time.
Yeah, he finally got that pizza delivered.
He enjoyed it.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Dan. He's what's the word? He's under the weather. He's down with the sickness.
Yeah.
So don't worry. He'll hopefully be back next week. If not, we'll stand by the fact that he got that pizza. So anyway, Yeah. Great reveal, great absolute insanity of just that whole fight. And yeah, it definitely hinges, and I knew where it was going to. It happened more in the next episode, but I guess you could say the precursor to it was that everybody was just like, "Oh, I've never seen Roy like this before. He's a little intense." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course he's intense. He finally saw the killer, and I think he said it at some point. You don't deserve a quick death. I'm gonna make you pay."
Well,
Essentially, a monster turning on the monster.
yeah, let's talk about that too because there was, and this just adds like to the base satisfaction of seeing it, like what you were saying about Roy not giving Envy any chance to talk or breathe or anything. The way Roy went about this demolition was different. We saw what he was doing to Lust. Like his power is inherently destructive and is always going to look insane. I mean, it's fire. But
Yeah,
again, they made a very concerted effort to show you what he's doing to Envy is not what he's been doing to anybody else in the series. It's completely different because this time what he's doing, which I thought was cool, what they showed earlier when he destroyed the white guys, according to Hawkeye, he is able to use his fire with pinpoint accuracy. So
yeah,
he doesn't just incinerate anything that is in the vicinity of his target. He can literally go as far as to aim at a target's eyes and only burn that.
that was cool. That was
Which
so cool.
that's what he does to Envy with the eyes, and also burns Envy's tongue. Is some crazy stuff.
Yeah, yeah, he was legit making Envy suffer. Like, if he wanted to, he could have just lit her whole body on fire and just would have been like done with it. But he was, like you said, going for the eyes, going for the tongue. Uh, if he had a fucking pair of pliers, he would have ripped off her toenails and fingernails. Would have did the full 9 yards. But yeah, and also when he was throwing his like fire and flames and whatnot, like you could tell there was a difference there too. It's almost like he was throwing haymakers, like doing it as hard as he could possibly could, and it was like I was enjoying the hell out of it, but his comrades sure weren't. They were just like, "Rory, you okay?"
It's literally like, yeah, this is kind of uncomfortable.
I hope he's right. It's almost like listening to your parents fight, and you're
Yeah.
or like friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and they're just right in front of you, and you're just kind of like trying to enjoy your meal, and you're like, "Well, this is rude."
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing that happened in this episode, because these episodes blend together, episodes 53 and 54, but pretty much one of the last things that happened in this episode is Ed basically asked Scar, what does this look like to him? Because being that Scar's mission was also revenge, and they're seeing Roy face twist in complete rage, unlike what they ever seen before of him. You know, Ed asks Scar, uh, what do you think about this? And he's like,
What do you think, buddy?
yeah, he's kind of going crazy. He's like, yeah, I seen this before. I did this a long time ago.
I seen this within myself.
Yeah.
God, I looked like that. I looked fucking insane.
Yeah. So Ed was worrying about Roy, and we'll talk about it because it's a very nuanced thing that I think can't be discussed very lightly. Like there's a lot
Mm-hmm.
to detail about what happens next because I think
Yeah.
it's kind of controversial in a sense. I don't think anybody dislikes it, but I do think people aren't
I have
as
thoughts
keen
on
to
it.
see it. Yeah, well, yeah, we'll talk about it.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We'll save that for the next episode.
I mean,
But
pretty much the last thing that happens was Envy seemingly transforming, as Roy. Uh,
Yeah, and talking with Riza.
hmm
Yeah. That's pretty much it because that then leads into the next episode. That's all that really happens with Roy and Envy and the whole gang and whatnot. But did you want to touch upon the how Bradley was like basically influencing a whole? I love the shirt.
No,
Influencing the
yeah,
whole nation and saying our own people tried to kill me. I mean, that's insane to even think about. That's like I don't know what would that be on the equivalency of like basically the president trying to murder his wife. That's
yeah, yeah. You're right. We didn't talk about that. So yeah, that goes back to the whole plan because Roy is fighting a war on two fronts. He's doing a physical war, obviously trying to get rid of the homunculized allies and all these other military guys under their thumb. And he's also trying to win the favor of the public because it's deeper than just winning the battle because they can win the battle and be branded traitors later for their role in all of what's happening currently. So it's always been a two front war, and right now they're seemingly winning both. It looks like the
yeah.
public now are on their side because they're exposing the tyranny of this government, which they're lying to the public. they're
Yeah.
they're telling the
Especially that one
truth.
dude.
They're telling the truth, but it's obviously like propaganda because they're the ones who set
Oh, for
up
sure.
Pure Bradley to fucking uh, uh, explode in that train. But now they're using it as going, whoa, it's these guys that actually blew up Fury Bradley, and now they're trying to kill his wife. Oh, what do we do? So, yeah.
Yeah. That one that one dude on the radio was a great actor, by the way,
Mm.
who pretended like they were in there, like they had guns pointed to their head, and if they don't keep the broadcast going, that they were going to kill him. He's like, "Oh no, he's got a gun!" Ah, and then he just shuts off the broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, fantastic cut. That was seen beautiful. That's a wrap.
See.
Oh, yeah, good stuff though. I love how at the end with that whole scene was just a bunch of people just like talking, kind of like how people would if something like that happened. Nowadays, it's internet and people spreading on social media and whatnot. But that's kind of like the situation where it's just everybody's like, "Oh, did you hear that? Oh my God, they're after us! I heard they almost killed her." That's insane. No, I don't believe that. I just heard it. It's just everybody's voice is going off, and it's just, yep,
Yeah.
that's how you influence the masses.
Yeah. So they're doing a good job with the war. They just got to
Very
win
good
the
job.
physical front now. Uh, episode 54. This is where things get
Yeah,
kind of controversial, but honestly, again, had one of my favorite moments in Fullmetal Alchemist. I thought it was very well done, but I'm very interested to hear how you felt about the whole thing.
yeah. So I enjoyed everything, up to a point. Like, not to say that I hated it. I was just more annoyed, I guess, to be honest. But, we so essentially we find out Riza discovered Roy. Yeah, Riza discovered Roy was Envy. She freaking shot him. Because at first I almost thought, is Riza Envy? Oh, no. It's the other way around. Riza knew.
Yeah.
He never calls me by my first name. or whatever it was.
I never knew you and the Colonel were that close. I lied.
Yeah, that was cool. And she shot him to shit. And then Roy finally came and lit her up some more and got to the point where she became that green slug again. And just great stuff. She just burnt to a crisp in ash and whatnot. And then we come to the part where he's going to basically finish the job and just crush and just bury it, everything, and just destroy Envy and just put her out of her misery. And then Riza goes ahead and pulls out a gun and says, "Don't kill Envy, or I'm going to shoot you." And I have gripes when it comes to this kind of thing that I see in all kinds of media, where you have a villain on the ropes, you're going to kill the villain. Oh, but don't kill the villain because we're better than that. I kind of look at it in a light of it really depends. Like, I feel like there's some instances where it's like, yeah, a villain can be changed. Envy's not one of those villains that can be. So ultimately, it's just kind of what I call overdramatic. If you kill Envy, I'm going to shoot myself in the head when this is all said and done. Really? Really? You're going to take it to that extreme? I don't know. It's just stuff like that just makes me just... This is Envy we're talking about. I would understand if it was, I don't know, just some dumb kid that was following orders and didn't know any better just because they were a part of just this group. But it's Envy. It's a homunculus. So I was kind of annoyed by that. That was how I felt about it.
Okay. So, yeah, because I think that is an opinion a lot of people share. And maybe even I did when I initially watched this. But the way I interpret things now, I don't know, maybe this is my third time watching this series. But I think because there's a lot, like I said, to preface this, there's a lot of nuance with this. First and foremost, I don't think this is the same as the whole revenge is bad type of trope. I don't think this is what is going on with this. And I think one of the biggest differences with that trope and what happened in this episode is it's not as if they were going to let Envy live.
Right. And I was going to say that, sorry, I'll make this really quick. I was going to say that too, because it's not like they were just going to let her live, because Riza was just like, give her to me so I could smush the little bastard. That is something that I'll at least give the show credit for. All right, continue.
I think the higher point that they were trying to make is not Roy's position to take revenge given his aspirations for being the ultimate leader of a nation. I think their point was, you can't... It's one thing for Scar to do this or even Riza to do this, but you as a leader who has to have more of a objective eye and maybe a lot more forgiveness than other people should, you can't be the one to enact or lose yourself in revenge like this, in complete rage. You can't be that person to do that. And yeah. I think it's more so to do with his bigger aspirations for what he wants to do, because they saw how much he lost himself. Like, he completely lost it. When Envy goes in Ed's hand, he says, "Give me Envy or I'm going to burn your hand along with Envy." And it's like, wait, what?
Come again?
And he was going to do that. He was actually going to do that until Riza stopped him by basically saying that if he goes through with this, what she's going to do is complete the war and kill herself, essentially, because she already regrets having her father's research not fall into the hands of Roy, but be used for destruction the way as it has been in the war. Like, there's a lot of lingering there's a lot of lingering regret over that whole decision because immediately upon of Roy learning flame alchemy, is used to just massacre all these Ishvalan soldiers, and that's something that she was initially going to kill herself way back when they were in the war until she kind of fell under the umbrella of Roy, who strived to make things better and to never have this war start in the first place. So with Riza saying that she would kill herself, it's not because of him enacting revenge. It's more so, if you are the man that, or if you aren't the man that I thought you are, then what's the point of me living? Because her thing is, I've put all my hopes and dreams behind your cause. If you've lost yourself to the point where you've lost your head as far as becoming Führer, then I have nothing left to live for.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment. I guess I kind of just look at it in a way of, if it wasn't envy. You know what I mean? This is envy. This is the homunculus that not only killed his friend, but also is the worst kind of homunculus with total disregard for human life, etc., and so forth and whatnot. But no, I do hear the whole argument of it's more of the idea of what he stands for versus actually killing envy. So I do agree with that. It's just, I think, I don't know. I've always seen that trope, even though it's not like we kind of said, like they still were going to kill envy. It wasn't like they were just gonna, she's learned her lesson, crawl away, little envy, or something like that. It was just more to put it in Kill terms. Don't lose your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it just goes back to what his dream is, because like this is a series centered on war. So, let's like have a hypothetical. If there was a country, a nation or whatever that did something deplorable, I mean, you could save, Amestris. We already have an example with what Amestris did to the Ishvalans. Would the Ishvalans be quote unquote justified for trying to do the same to the Amestrians? Some would argue yes, but that doesn't mean that they should. Like,
right.
There has to be somebody, especially if you're the head of a nation, there has to be somebody who has compassion even where you normally wouldn't have it, because there just has to be a level of humanity. And it's less to do with envy the person, because it's not as if nobody gives a fuck about envy. But it's all about just the justifiable punishment, which for envy is just death. And that's where it needs to end, that because torture and anything else is less about the punishment and more about satisfying your desires.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's all about.
I agree. And I loved Scar, of all people, who basically was like talking to Roy and everything. It's like, yeah, I was once the same person, but who am I to deny him of the same thing that I once desired all those many months ago, I guess. It was kind of nice just hearing from that point of view, because we have two people on the opposite ends, but they kind of experience the same thing, so to speak, where Scar was absorbed by revenge and Roy in that moment was absorbed by revenge too. They had their reasons, but Scar wasn't going to be a hypocrite and be like, no, don't do it, it's wrong, because of all people, he knows.
Yeah. and Scar's ultimate point was, and this is why I say that like there's a difference between Scar and Roy, because he understands. I've done what I've done. I've killed state alchemists who probably didn't even
Killed
deserve.
your friends.
Yeah, I've tried to kill Ed, who had nothing to do with the war. He's walked that path of blood, but the whole point is Roy can't be the one to walk that. He can't do the same thing as Scar. If you want to be a leader of a nation, you have to have a level of compassion. You can't be a vigilante. That's just, you can't play that role. If you truly want to be a leader that's different from what we saw of Bradley, even though like they're pure evil. Yeah. So
I think you could replace Bradley with a semi-qualified person; they'd automatically be better. But I know, I hear what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're saying, though.
yeah.
But that was good.
Okay, cool.
That was really good. And then Envy has her little hissy fit. I love this scene because it shows just how much Envy is a homunculus. As much as she hates humans, she's as Ed put it, she's jealous of humans. But she tries to throw everything at these guys.
I love that. I love that, especially the boys. Hey, Big Sweet, he killed your friends. What about what he did to Winry?
Yeah.
And you?
What about you? And you? I killed your. I took a. You?
Yeah, exactly. I thought that I thought that was funny, and yeah, none of them were biting. None of them were alive. Because Envy tried to manipulate them all, but now it's just like, you can't manipulate us anymore. Your power is useless, and you're nothing more than just a little worm.
Yeah.
And then she eventually just kills herself. She takes out the the stone, rips it out of her gullet, and then just shrivels up and dies. And that's the last we'll ever see of Envy. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Great.
That was the character that needed to go. But
Great villain though.
great villain. Very hateable. Very hateable.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that conclusion. I loved, Roy, realizing that he was too far on the deep end.
Yeah. Yeah, he calmed down and he was like, I don't know what happened to me back there, guys. I'm sorry. I was a little punch drunk there.
Yeah, he even had to like just let go of that fire, just and put it in a different direction to, blow off some steam, no pun intended.
Yeah, he was literally just like, ah! Oh God.
And that was a great moment from Riza. I think we talked about the Roy perspective and the Envy perspective, but yeah, we already seen Riza express her regret over her role in the Ishvalan War and how many people she killed and everything else. But I thought that moment where she told Roy to burn the tattoo on her back so nobody would ever get their hands on flame alchemy, because she saw how destructive it could be, was like a very great moment. And then also Roy complying with it.
Okay.
So now we know
why
why
back all crispy.
Now we know why she has those scars on her back, because we saw that one shower scene. So that explained that.
As he would put it, the gratuitous nudity, unnecessary.
Yeah.
There was reason behind it. We had to see that it was burned off of her skin.
Yeah.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Fullmetal Alchemist. Which
So all that happened.
I want to quickly say that Fullmetal Alchemist title card thing that we got. I think one of the best placements was the last episode, where it happened right after Roy basically says, "Emmy, I want to fucking kill you."
Yeah,
That was one of the best placements for that to happen.
absolutely. And wasn't that the only time where it didn't even say Full Metal Alchemist? It was just silent.
It's happened before. No,
Okay, but I feel like that was another one.
actually I don't think that one was silent. I think
There was one that was silent these episodes, I feel like.
it may have been this
Like,
one, or
yeah.
it may have been this current one, or it may have been last week.
Yeah, because it was one like it was a very intense scene, and then they did the return Full Metal Alchemist, but when it like cut and went away, yeah, it was silent, and I was just like, it just makes it more heavy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we went back to the other fighting that we saw with the Armstrongs.
They were fucking shit up. Olivier doing her thing, and Alex, even though his arm was dislocated, he got it popped it back into place thanks to the sheer weight of Sloth. He was just like, "Oh, thank you, it's back into place now." And then fucked his. You said it. I think it was last week or whatever before. He's completely sandbagging when it comes to fighting Olivier. He is stronger than her.
Yeah.
Just some of the shit he was doing against Sloth, I'm like, he's stronger than he looked.
Yeah. I will say, because I agree with that. I will say though, also the Olivier and Armstrong thing, I don't think that happened in the manga. Like that big fight we saw between them.
Oh,
I don't think that happened in the manga. So it's more of like a comedic
canon.
Yeah, it was like more of a comedic thing, if anything. But I do think that Olivier is somebody who just does well or better against people who are more normal size. Like it's very hard for Olivier to go up against someone like Sloth, but someone against Armstrong who's big himself still. But she's just going to have a better showcasing against him because I feel a little less to do with physicality and more with skill. You can't really outskill Sloth because Sloth is just too fast and big.
Yeah. Olivier's really OP against older men who want to become immortal.
Yeah.
That's like her go-to. And if you're an older man that wants to be immortal, she'll easily just kick your ass, just stab you through the arm, put you into cement, shoot you through the fucking head.
I think we saw like her good qualities though, because it's less to do with her fighting and more to do with her inspiration. Rallying all the troops who were wavering. What do we do in this situation? It's like, shut up and fight, you driveling fool. So,
did you just call me a fool?
I think I like it. Oh,
I think I'm slightly aroused. Now's not the time. We'll fight.
But
yeah, she's really good at that.
Yeah, and then we had the housewife Izumi Curtis.
She came at the end. That's right.
Yep.
Oh my god, that was cool. That was a nice little reveal. I used to be called a housewife. Now you can just call me Izumi.
We got all our firepower, but also something that's sneakily happening, which I don't think the show has been trying to draw attention to. But I will remind you, remember they kept mentioning sacrifices.
Yep.
Ed, Al, Izumi,
Hohenheim, right?
I don't know. I don't think they mentioned Hohenheim because it
I
would.
thought they did.
It would just be people who saw who saw truth, who sacrificed something.
Didn't he see it though?
They may have mentioned him afterwards, but it's someone big I'm missing. Ed, Al, Izumi. It's someone big I'm missing.
Someone in the chat, please.
Shit.
It's not Winry. Oh, no. I thought I had it, but you already named Al.
I think they said. I think they were mentioning Roy as a candidate, so maybe that was one of the ones I was missing.
Because I was thinking Hohenheim because of that episode where it showed him in the past. I thought he saw the truth back then. Whenever they did that whole sacrifice circle.
No, it may have been Hohenheim. If that's
Yeah.
so, then that would be the 5 then, right? Ed, Al, Roy, Izumi, Hohenheim. There's
Yeah.
5.
And where are they all?
All in Central.
Gulp.
Yep.
And I guess you could say that's where it all kind of ends that episode. Hohenheim confronts father on his iPod charger. he disconnects just to stand up for like 2 minutes of juice, and he's just like, they just stare at each other, and I'm just like, what's gonna happen?
I love that confrontation though. He goes, "You're still that little dwarf in a flask," and then he calls him Slave 23.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're still that slave back
Whoa.
then. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. We're talking about those white people, that slave. What kind of show is this?
Just Django.
Oh my god.
um.
Great episodes though. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, phenomenal episodes. I think
We're
the next
10
batch are
episodes away?
10 episodes
Oh
away.
my god.
About-
I'm almost
Oh,
done.
shit.
I'm finally gonna watch the series without any spoilers.
Damn.
I say this now, and now I'm gonna be fucking spoiled. Halfway, or just a quarter, a fucking eighth down the down the line. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. But it is time to move on. The next show we have, now we're talking about our Winter 2025 anime. First thing we have up to bat is none other than Kenshin. Episodes, what episode are we on?
It's episode 20 and 21.
20 and 21.
She would know the official number, but it's
Yeah.
season 2, episode 20 and 21.
It's like 44 and 45 or something like that.
Maybe. I have no idea.
I
I
think-
just know.
I think you just had to add 24 to it because 24 was the number of episodes for the first season, right?
Something like that. I think you're right.
Um,
Anyway, it's those ones. They kind of like go together really well. Like it's the episodes were like in threes because it was called The Great Tokyo Fire parts 1, 2, and 3, and this was part 2.
Yeah, because episode 21 felt like a kind of like the ending of an arc, which is weird since we're still in
Yeah.
the middle of the Kyoto Fire. Which I got some
Mhm.
thoughts. I got some thoughts specifically on episode 21.
Okay.
But
I have some thoughts as well.
yeah. So okay, so we have like really 3 things going on. We have the battle on the ship. We have everything that's
Mhm.
going on with Megamine as far as making sure everybody is patched up and the wounded are being healed. And we have everything as far as the police trying to quell the fires. Those are the 3 fronts we're working with. So I guess we'll talk about the stuff that happened on the ship first.
Yeah, since it has all of our main characters on it. Yeah, Aoshi and Kenshin are fighting. Aoshi's just pretty much just blinded, still will do anything to fight this man. And Kenshin's just like, I don't know, I almost feel like he knows he's stronger than Aoshi, and he's just like holding back in a way.
He doesn't want to embarrass him.
Yeah, he really doesn't want to embarrass him. But Shishio over here, even though he could have like hit away, he's like, I want to watch my man fight. I mean, I want to watch this man fight.
Yeah, he's
I'm
just
sorry, baby. What'd you say? He's in love with Kenshin.
No,
he really
is.
is.
He is. He absolutely is.
he may be sleeping with what's her face, but he's in love. Okay, he's sleeping with her, but he's thinking about Kenshin.
She's like, I wonder what new techniques he learned.
as he's having sex, just I hope he's doing something with his sword right now.
Which is funny because we know the significance of their relationship, but when it comes to their actual interactions, they haven't had all that many. So it's funny to see him hyper focus on Kenshin, but I mean it makes a lot of sense given that Kenshin is like his predecessor. But yeah,
sure.
it seems like he really wants to see Kenshin's techniques, but he keeps getting blue balled for whatever reason.
Yeah, he really does. He was about to do that one technique, and then all of a sudden, oh, fucking cabin exploded. The engine room blew up, which that was a cool scene. I know I'm probably just getting all these mixed up because, like I said, it all just felt like one big giant thing. But what's his name? Sasuke? No, not
Sonosuke?
Sasuke. Sonosuke. I knew it was a Ske. Him and Zoro would be best friends. All right, gotta find the engine room. Where's this engine room? Where's the engine room?
At least he found it. Zoro, you haven't seen the full extent of how bad Zoro's directions are. Well, you watched a little bit of Dressrosa, right?
I watched the original anime. I remember I got as far. Is Dressrosa the one where we first are introduced to? Oh my god, I can't even remember the names.
That's
the guy
that's where
with
you
the
have
knives.
That's where you have Doflamingo.
Yeah, I feel like I got that far and before I gave up. But I think I remember like he was just like going around going, "Hey, where's the like he was in a mansion or something going around?"
I mean, it's a lot of moments that happened though.
Okay. Yeah, he does get lost pretty badly, but you're right. At least Inosuke found it, and he didn't even need the fucking bomb. He just used his full-on fists to just cause a leak, but didn't matter anyway because there was a fire that caught and it just rolled into the fucking cabin fire and blew up anyway. But yeah, that was interesting to say the least. But yeah, all this stuff's happening on the boat. People are just standing around. Guys literally hitting Sanosuke with roses, going, "You brute! You brute! You absolute brute!" And Sanosuke's like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face."
It's just funny how like of a non-threat he is, which I understand they introduced him as Shishio strategist, so they never really implied that he was a fighter, even other than him being a part of the 10 Swords. But they made it a point to show that he was different. But I don't know what I was expecting from him, but it wasn't that.
Yeah, he kind of really didn't do much. I mean, yeah, sure, okay. His claim to fame was putting out a bomb that was going to go out with him cutting his own wrist. But it was all in vain anyway, because, like I said, Sanosuke was just like, okay, move out of the way. Just punches a hole in the floor.
And I got to talk about that moment. I wrote it down. He uses his blood because he uses the thorns of the flowers he has to cut his arm and then bleed profusely all over the wick of the bomb so it'll stop.
And not die.
And then I'm just like, wait a minute. You could have just like used saliva, anything. You didn't need to use your blood.
People lick their fingers all the time and take the tips and go like that. He could have done that. I agree. That was very much. I almost feel like they just did that whole scene just to show how much he was willing to sacrifice just for the cause. But still, it's like they could have done it in a different way.
It was so arbitrarily like, hey, this is my dedication to Shishio. This is what I'm willing to do. And I was like, but you didn't need to do that.
Right.
That was so extra.
Right. It's like waiting in line for food and then like taking cuts just to get to the front of the line, but you didn't have to do it because there was literally only one person in line. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just, there's no point.
Yeah. But other than Hoji and the ridiculousness, it was pretty funny to see Kenshin do his best to avoid actually fighting Aoishi. He doesn't try to have a direct conversation with him for the most part. And I think a part of it is just because he's just like, yeah, we're wasting time and we shouldn't be fighting. Which, I mean, yeah,
True.
is correct.
Very, very much true. And yeah, he's avoiding him, not even really, not that he's not taking him seriously, but he's just like, I'm sure when he said he was willing to fight him again, it was when it was Aoshi had like a bunch of honor behind those eyes instead of this man that has literally no honor and like nothing to live for. I almost feel like I said, Kenshin was like way stronger just because he was just blinded by that. You know what I mean? Like he's just willing to fight him no matter what, but it's just like, I feel like Kenshin would still own his ass, even with all that.
Yeah. Considering how things ended, now I'm more of the opinion that things are going to work how I initially thought, where
Oh boy.
Aoishi is going to eventually fight one of these other guys, the other 10 swords at some point, just because our manpower seems to be depleted in comparison to theirs. And because if Kenshin is supposed to have that fight with Aoishi, I don't think it just happens. I don't think it happens with Aoishi fighting him first. Because when they were about to fight on the boat, I was just like, this doesn't seem like the place for this to happen. It just doesn't seem right, especially with the fires going on. Because ultimately, I think we all expect Shishio to be the final villain for Kenshin.
For sure. Yeah.
And while Aoishi is still important and a formidable foe, he seems more like the kind of like the anti-hero in a sense, where it's like he can go either way. He can do some good, but he can also just as easily mess with our plans if he wants to.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what he's going to end up doing, because I can't see, because with Aoishi being as powerful as he is, if he were to fight Kenshin, no matter if Kenshin wins that fight or not, which I would expect him to, it would be a fight that takes a lot out of him. And if that happens, how the hell is he going to beat Kenshin or Shishio? It just doesn't really add up that much to me.
Yeah. Something's gonna happen to like Misao, and then Aoshi's gonna like snap out of it. And then he's gonna get his eyes back and go, I'm gonna fight the good guys now. I mean, the bad guys, and I'm gonna be good again. Something lame like that.
Probably. I feel like it would be a waste opportunity if he doesn't have some fighting sequence with Misao, given their relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something's gonna happen, and yeah, I agree. It must be so nice to be like Shishio, where you can dump 3/5 of your funding into a ship only for it to be completely destroyed in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he's just like, well, that didn't work.
Well, that sucks. I'm just gonna walk away into this smoke. Kenshin, maybe you should stop him. No! Let's not stop him. Let's let him get away.
We got another season.
That's what it felt like. We'll meet again, Spider-Man. Oh, just the old cliche. And I'm just like, kill him. Look, here's a gun. Let me shoot him right now.
The one thing,
Scotty, don't.
I wasn't surprised by Kenshin doing that, because what he said later on made sense. That would, if he would have stopped Shishio there, that would have led everybody into like fighting as hard as they could, and somebody would have probably ended up dead if they fought then. But what surprised me was Saito stopping when Yumi protected Shishio. I didn't expect
Yeah.
that because
I thought he
Saito,
would have just went on.
yeah, because Saito's someone who he's not like Kenshin's other allies. He's kind of like the Vegeta of our group, basically. Where it's like,
much.
yeah, this guy's a good guy, but not really.
Yeah, he literally tried to stab Sanosuke while he was sleeping on the roof. If it wasn't for the fact that he rolled over at the right time, he would have stabbed him through the head.
Yeah, he's a little warped, but yeah, I was surprised by that. I was like he is a cop, and Yumi isn't a combatant, but considering that she's rolling with Shishio, I would have thought that Saito would have been like the hammer of justice is unisex or something, or it does not discriminate, and he would just kill her anyways.
Right. Ben would have been like Magic and Muscle. I treat everybody the same, and then gives her a Juman suplex. But yeah, that didn't happen. I was surprised by that too. I was like, oh, he's not as bad as he says he is.
Yeah, I wonder if there's more to
That,
it.
or maybe it has something. Maybe it's something to do with women. Maybe he's just weird with women.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's more to that. I don't know if he did it because it's Yumi. I don't know if he did that because
His,
he's
his
changing.
ex.
It maybe, who knows? I don't know, but
Baby, is that you?
it's interesting. It's interesting for sure.
For sure. I know we're kind of like doing it unorthodox like, but it's okay. That was essentially the I guess like the boat park.
Yeah,
I guess we can talk about the I don't know. Let's just talk about the cop parts next. Essentially, the cops are the ones that are holding down the city from the threat of the 10 swords. And that one leader cop, whatever his name was, who basically took over, he did his thing. I liked what he did, the whole respect of just everybody was serious, like, get the wounded out of here, and how he kind of like stood up to all of them. I thought that was pretty cool. Essentially, he just kind of like gave himself, and then when all the other cops came by, they're like, everybody's gone now. He's like, oh, thank God. He just collapsed.
my only thing about that is I'm just wondering why did they honor him? Because for what we've seen of these guys, they just don't seem like that's something that they would honor. Like, mind you, they're not just killing combatants. They're willing to kill civilians. They outright said, yeah, let's kill civilians, women, children, because they're going to die in a fire anyways. Who cares? They aren't really good at all. Now, we do have a good evil guy, which is Anji.
monk.
Yeah. But these guys don't seem to be built for that same type of claw. So I don't know. I guess they were just amused. They could always throw that into the thinking behind it. But that did seem kind of odd that he just went like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, go ahead, take them. We'll give you time, but if you fall to the ground, we're gonna kill everybody else again.
Yeah.
It's a deal. Yeah, I don't know. It was a thing, but
Yeah.
it was still cool just to have I don't know that guy that took over as like the new captain kind of like do his thing, because I didn't know what they were gonna do with his character other than just have a nice little heroic moment. That was all that he got, really.
Yeah. This is where the weak part of these batch of episodes came from. When we started focusing on the subordinates of Shishio, and I'm not talking about the 10 swords, of course. We're talking about the random ninjas who are actually starting the fires. They just decide to start focusing on two characters. They gave them names. Hell, if I'm going to remember them.
Hottie and Hottie. I don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, they just try to make them sympathetic for some reason, and this lingers on to the next episode. But what happens in episode 20 is just like, uh they're walking around. One of them is injured. The other guy's like, "Leave me behind," and then the old guy and the kid stumble upon them, and then he fucking knocks the old guy upside the head. It's like,
To where he loses all of his brain fluid, it seemed like.
yeah. And I'm just wondering, why was this here? What was this?
Yeah.
What was the purpose of this?
And then he stabs his friend because he went to try to stab the kid and was just like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't let you do it. I couldn't let you be evil even though you killed an old man.
I didn't understand what that whole thing was for. I'm not gonna lie to you. I guess what OBS disconnected. Hold on.
Uh-oh. We still streaming?
I don't know.
Let me look.
And reconnected.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
We were probably offline for like a second.
Literally a split second. It went from to blit.
Okay. But yeah, it just, if I think the next episode they make it a little more clear what their purpose is to show you when it's wartime, especially when it comes to these doctors and other medical employees, they don't try to differentiate between enemy and ally. They're just out to save lives because it's about the humanity of it all. But I felt like whatever they were trying to do previously, and even in that episode, was just a little weird and clumsy and felt like it was out of nowhere. I don't know. I wasn't really hyped to see random ninjas have their adventure.
Yeah, they didn't really do much with the random ninjas. I mean, other than just bleed.
Yeah.
That's all they really did. But Megumin did her thing. She cured and helped a lot of people. Your wife's a good person.
She is. She's grown significantly from the first time we saw her when she was selling crack.
She was selling crack, and now she's saving lives. Amazing transition for sure. But I guess like the last thing we can discuss is like the clan and then the other groups that are fighting the other people and whatnot.
Yeah.
They essentially the other 10 swords. They essentially fought a dude that's the equivalent of a giant bouncy ball.
The sound effect they make for him is so stupid. I'm just
It's a goofy movie.
I can't take him serious.
Yeah, I know, and his goofy face.
Where the sexy ninjas at?
I want to see them. I want to eat them. Yeah, just a bunch of weird shit going on there. You have Yahiko and all the other ladies doing their thing against other people. Yeah, at least they're fighting other people. Good for them.
Yeah, but then they have Usui come in there, and because that was a cliffhanger in episode 20, and it's kind of like, where is this going? Because we knew that somebody was going to have to step in, because there's no way they can beat Usui, and there's no way that Usui is going to just kill them.
I was hoping for Yahiko. Go Yahiko.
Listen, Yahiko is my son. He's not ready for this. He's not ready for this.
Yeah.
So we saw what happened with Anji stepping in and protecting Misao, Kaoru, and Yahiko from Usui. And Usui is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I am protecting the lives of these people because meaningless deaths are stupid." And I'm like, I guess.
But you guys are kind of evil.
Yeah,
We're gonna start a whole fire.
I don't really get Anji. I don't understand. Like we saw like his interaction with Sonosuke, So we got a little bit of his character, and he's definitely not someone like Shishio. It's more so he wants to topple the government because he felt wronged, and so he's not on that whole I want chaos for the sake of chaos. It is a very focused effort on his end. So I guess he doesn't want anybody unnecessary to that goal to be swallowed up in it. But at the same time, it's like you are still having something to do with this fire, bro. I don't know.
There's blood on your hands. As much as you like to say, "Oh, I'm not guilty," you may not have lit the match, but you didn't stop it from burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I understand what they're going for with this character. It's just that I can't really co-sign them because it's like you're ultimately still involved, like a big part of Kyoto, the plan for Kyoto to be burned down to the ground, which is going to include women, children. Like at some point, yes, you're going to do a lot of evil. I mean, and then it's not as if killing the soldiers and the police isn't evil either.
Right.
Like just because they
right.
resolve to fight doesn't mean that it isn't less wrong for you to kill them.
Correct. But no, don't kill the young boy, the young girl, and the girl. that would be wrong.
Yeah. Where were you when they were killing all those other people in the city? Why are you defending these three people specifically?
Right. You go ahead and well, first of all, Blind Ninja wants to kill specifically those people. He could have killed any random fucking person, but he wants to kill them. But
he is not
but
blind,
then,
by the way.
Oh no. The dude lifted up his things and was looking at him. He is not blind. Why if you're blind, why would you do that? Why would you lift up your fucking visor or blindfold and go, I had to get a better look at you.
It was the context and how he did that too, because he did it as if like he was angry and he was like trying to get a read on him. Like, are you fucking serious? That's the thing that he did when he lifted up his blindfold.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the way he even goes, the fires are starting to die down, and I'm like,
you're not blind.
What are we doing here? How do you, if you're going to have a blind character, can they legitimately be blind? I understand the whole trope of they're blind, but their other senses are heightened. This is not even that. He's legitimately not blind. You guys are just saying he is. He walks around fine. He's able to identify everybody who he's around without any trouble. What makes him a blind character?
He's been duping everybody this whole time. He poured super glue in his eyes to make it seem like he's blind when
he just
really
has contacts.
He has contacts of white. Just he's like, I saw Batman when I was younger. I wanted to look just like Batman in the comics. I have to. That's what I want to go for, is to look like that. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to believe, just like you, he's not blind.
Yeah. But was there anything else I wanted to mention? No, not really, because all really else that happened is the civilians, some of the firefighters that Arato had beckoned over and in anticipation for this whole thing happening. They were putting out the fires, so even though the fires has spread, not all hope is lost, because a lot of people are fighting back and whatnot. And seemingly it seems that Shishio's plans have failed. And his whole thing was, I underestimated you guys, but never again. I'll never drop my guard again.
We'll beat again, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I especially underestimated you, Sudosuke, Mr. Punchman.
Yeah. I just, ultimately, with these 2 episodes, I felt underwhelmed. We're not
Yeah.
getting much fighting.
No, for a whole series where I thought we were going to get nothing but that. I feel like the first season had more fights.
No, it at least like long lean fights where we're actually getting some type of choreography or something, because there's fighting happening, but like, for example, Ari told that one police guy who was trying to make sure everybody else is escaped, that gets off screen. We don't see any of that. We get Kenshin versus Aoshi, and it's just Kenshin running. We get Hoji versus Sonosuke.
Boo.
I don't got to say anything about that.
No.
And then the other fight is what? Bouncy Man versus Sexy Ninjas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave those sexy ninjas alone, bouncy man.
Yeah. But yeah, for what we were leading up to with the Great Kyoto Fire, the 10 swords, I expected at least a couple of great fights by now. And we're almost done with this season, I think. And I can't tell you a great fight that we've had in a season.
Maybe the training montage where Kenshin learns a new technique.
Yeah, that was cool, but it wasn't a real fight. Because in the first season, we had a couple of different ones. I mean, we had Aoishi versus Kenshin. Like, we had Kenshin versus that one
weird dude.
Yeah, that one
tongue.
weirdo guy. We had a lot of Kenshin versus Sonosuke.
Fights.
We had a lot. Kenshin versus Saito. We had a lot of great fights. And this one, we don't, which is weird because now we have a central villain. So you would have thought that we would have had at least one by now, but we haven't had any. Like, the biggest fight I think we've had thus far is Cho versus Kenshin.
Yeah, that's it. And that really was much of a fight. It was very one-sided.
Yeah, that was literally the only reason why there were any type of stakes in that fight is because Cho had a hostage, which, cool for his villainy and whatnot, but like for the actual fighting, it didn't do much for anything. It wasn't that impressive. So, yeah, I want more from the series, especially it being a battle shonen type of series. So hopefully we get something before the season ends.
For sure. Well, the last episode would have been a killer pass one, but it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
So can't really do much with it unless C puts a killer pass in the chat right now.
I don't think he's going to answer.
Okay, he's not going to answer. Just kidding. Well, I guess that's it for the old Kenshin. And the last anime we're talking about this evening is, of course, Sakamoto Days, episodes 8 and 9. I love Sakamoto Days. Let me just say that first and foremost. This series has been super, super fun. And I feel like when people were trashing it because of the animation earlier on, really missed out, because I feel like it's remained consistent with how good or quality it's been. I think it's been really good.
Yeah. So yeah, we continue with the whole lab plot and us fighting the weird scientist guy, Horiguchi, where he's like injecting himself with drugs now and he becomes
That guy is
big.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He just injected with everything. He makes Shin talk backwards.
I love the way they ultimately decide to deal with him. I really like how Sakamoto incorporates Shin's mind reading ability, because he just goes, all right, because he injects Sakamoto with this drug that makes him now attack his allies. Anybody he identifies as an ally, now he's hitting them. So now anytime he tries to swing at Horiguchi, he's swinging at Shin. So the workaround this was have Shin have his back towards Horiguchi. He's going to read Shin is going to read Sakamoto's moves, or he's going to read his moves, and Sakamoto is going to strike indiscriminately. So while Sakamoto is saying how he's going to move, Shin is dodging him, and he's just striking Horiguchi with everything, because now, since he's basically punching indiscriminately, he's taking all those blows, and he isn't shielded by him just attacking Shin, because he's technically attacking Shin, he's just missing. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they have very creative ways to fight against people in this show. I think that's the part that's really neat. You have, Shin being blind previous episode, fighting, listening to the thoughts of Sakamoto to punch that other dude while wearing a bunny costume. Saying that out loud is wild in itself. And then just everything else within this series is just so neat. But yeah, that was a cool part of that whole fighting technique and whatnot. He was no longer box head. His head decided to form out and willing to get on with all the punches and whatnot.
Yeah. We also saw a bit of the guy that raised Shin, the director, who who is responsible for Shin having the mind reading powers in the first place, which he's responsible, but it was really just Shin just fucking around and going, hey, let me drink this random shit, and then he got the powers. So that's how that story went. But this guy was basically like a father figure to Shin. So
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I thought this boy loved waking up in the middle of the night to drink some shit that he didn't even know was something he should have been drinking, and then that's how he got the power to do to read people's minds. He's just like, oh, I'm so thirsty. No, don't drink that, you kid.
It's basically Luffy with his devil fruit.
Oh my god, it is.
Hey, what is this?
Ooh, this looks delicious. You just look what you did.
Yeah. Yeah. After Sakamoto beats Horiguchi, they then move on to Deer Guy, who Shishiba and Osaragi they're trying to get information about the other guy who's been killing the Jaw assassins. And Kashima is the Deer Guy's name, and this dude is just so funny to me because his body is the most ridiculous thing that we've ever saw.
Oh, for sure. He's got fucking knives coming out of his hand, a gun on this one, a gun out his fucking mouth. I'm like, dear God.
What have you done to yourself?
Yeah, what have you done, good sir? This is insane. Yeah. Didn't he say he was like 80% like weapons?
Yeah, I think so.
He just made his body 80% weapons.
Yeah, he's barely a human.
He's so barely a human. When he fights Sakamoto the next episode, he can't even do something as simple as take a sticker off of his face because he's got no hands. Oh, that is just such a huge disadvantage if you can't even use your hands. But I agree. What an absolutely crazy design for a character. Just literally a living, moving weapon person thing.
Yeah. And we also had Osaragi and Sakamoto meeting, which I thought was funny because she just looks at him and goes, wow, what a cute teddy bear.
She freaking loves him.
Yep.
She loves the fact that he's a big old teddy bear. Sorry, he's already married. You can't have any of that.
Oh no, EA!
What?
I thought I made this mistake. I watched episode 10, not 9. It's all right. I still know what happened.
Okay,
But
I guess I can.
You just can't look at the notes because it'll tell you
Oh, is
episode
it
10.
for 9 will tell you about 10?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I won't. I just saw the first thing. I won't read it then. But I pretty much remember episode 9 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw it. Where basically it's literally just a big old epic fight between Sakamoto and Deerhead. Really cool fighting in and out of a subway tunnel. Just like I said before, like throwing, taking a mechanical pencil and then just flicking it into the dude's eye. Oh my god, craziness! Stickers. Oh shit.
I was telling you about Sakamoto because we had that whole thing of Sakamoto versus Yor. And even before that, the way I describe Sakamoto is like John Wick on crack.
Yeah, you're right. He
Sakamoto's
would own
power.
Yor.
Sakamoto's power is basically the environment.
He could take anything and turn it into a weapon. That's what the guy in the Deerhead even said too. Like that's why he's the ultimate assassin. He can take any fucking thing around him and turn it into a weapon. It's crazy and it's insane. We did eventually get Skinny Sakamoto again. I'm convinced now that's just how he becomes Super Saiyan at this point. Like his base form is his chubby fat self, and then when he gets Super Saiyan, goes turns and gets all powerful is when he gets skinny all of a sudden. But I'm fine with that. I still fucks with it with the fat Sakamoto doing his thing and whatnot. But I know when skinny Sakamoto comes, that usually means okay, he's ready to end things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but that was a formidable opponent. Even Shishiba and Osaragi. Well, Osaragi was the one who doubted that Sakamoto could win the fight, and that's because she doesn't really know Sakamoto. That was their first time ever meeting. But Shishiba actually knows Sakamoto. They have a bit of a relationship. So, and another interesting thing is Shishiba noted that Sakamoto lost his touch. Obviously, he's been 5 years removed from being an assassin. But he says something interesting where he says, "Yeah, even with him losing his touch, I just can't imagine him dying." And yeah,
That's
I mean,
insane.
that's really it. You just can't count him out because his experience is just. You can see what he's doing with everything that he touches. He's able to use everything as a weapon. He just understands the art of killing to the point where it'll be hard pressed for anybody to actually back him into a corner to the point where they're actually going to kill him. Because he's going to find some way.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen, and I know it's still early on. It's only been 9 episodes, but we haven't seen Sakamoto really struggle at all. Yeah, he's been thrown into walls. Yeah, he's been punched and tossed around here and there, but I don't think he's waned at all since we've seen him. He's literally just been cool as a cucumber and owned everybody that he's fought.
Yeah.
Yeah. One cool thing, I guess, other than the Sakamoto fight, was Shin fighting old Invisible Man, and
your boy,
my boy, he came through this episode 9. I'm not gonna lie, he came through and he earned his fucking stripes. I didn't know how I felt about him. Okay. He's still an annoying little brat with the gets super emotional and how he's very much a simpleton, especially when Shin tries to read his mind. And it's like something worse than Akira's hand-drawn pictures. from the fable, and he's like, I barely understood what you said. I can't even read your mind. But yeah, he came in and saved Shin with his, sniping and ricochet sniping and fighting the dude. Then we found out the dude doesn't really have that much superpowers or special whatever techniques. It was just the suit.
Yeah.
It's nothing but a damn cloak.
Yeah. Interesting fight though. The invisible guy. It's funny how invisibility sometimes in other shows can be completely useless. But in this show, it's like, it's pretty hard to deal with. I guess because we're dealing with more like base human level people, even though they have supernatural feats. In some anime, like invisible people, like My Hero, for example, like
Invisible girl.
yeah, you don't really get much from that character.
She's just there because people are like, "Oh, she's hot. What does she look like?"
Yeah, but visibility for the win in this one. I mean, he even basically dropped off Sakamoto too when he was on that bike. So
yeah, he did. He bounced him. Just
I'm still not going to get over that man in the truck just going, or Shin going, "Hey, can I use this to kill somebody?" He's like, "Fuck yeah,
yeah, go ahead." I think that same guy came back the previous episode.
He did.
I think because I feel like they threw something in the back of a truck, and he was like, "Thanks."
Oh my god. Oh, let me check. Did it happen at the end of the episode?
It was towards the end, I feel like. But I feel like that was the same guy. So it's like, did he get his wood back?
Maybe.
And that's why he was like not concerned because he knew he was gonna get it back. It was like when they were leaving, I think. If not, it was definitely close to it. I definitely remember it being in episode 9. Because, we got Shin, we got Lou, they reunited, and Lou was like drunk and snotty and apologized and saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of you, and I didn't realize how screwed up your childhood was. I apologize."
Yeah. I think with each passing episode, one thing about Sakamoto Days is you just see them be more of a family. You know, like Shin and Lou are like brothers and sisters. Sakamoto is the father figure, and the rest of the family is the rest of the family. It's always sweet to see their bond deepen as the show goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And Heisuke is the one cousin that you don't want to see.
Yeah, he's the one where people are like, "Yeah, that's your distant cousin. We don't talk to him much, but just say hi just to be nice."
And just give him a pork bun, let him get him out of here.
Yeah, because he's nothing but a freeloader, and that spends most of his money on a stupid bird than he does his actual self.
Yeah. But is there anything else big with Sakamoto? Oh well,
we finally see the main
Slur.
Slur, the villain that's a slur.
Yeah. So you actually get to see you don't really well actually did they show you I know they showed you like
they showed you the outline, they showed you
yeah.
the freeze frame of when they were looking in the like video and whatnot. But then you see Shin going, "What's that eerie figure down the hall?" And he goes up to it, and then like he puts his hand on his shoulder, and he's just like, "Nice to finally see you, Shin." And he was just like, "What the fuck was that?" So yeah, you kind of see him, but I don't think you. I mean, you do and you don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you fully see his face yet.
Okay, so yeah, you don't get the detailed face for Slur, but yeah, so Shishiba and Osaragi are again that's the guy they're after, so they got the information that they needed as far as that, and they got the video. So yeah, it's this show seems to be very episodic almost, where it seems like things are happening at random, but it's gearing up to more of a central plot, or at least a central antagonist, with now the slur guy and the order in the background doing what they're doing and trying to find this dude. So it's like things are slowly starting to come together for you to actually see the plot behind Sakamoto Days, because it's a weird show where it almost just feels like slice of life.
Slice
Yeah,
of life.
it is. It's like you wouldn't expect that, considering we're dealing with assassins and we fight almost every episode. But yeah, this kind of situation is a very unique show.
It really is. I really like it. I like the uniqueness of it, and I really enjoy it. The fights are top notch for sure. It's just one of those shows you don't really have to think too hard, and it's just enjoyable. It's one of those just. I think you could. You love action, you can recommend the show. If you like ridiculous, over the top, goofy action, Sakamoto Days.
Yeah, super fun show. Super fun show.
Yeah. Last thing in episode 9, they were eating at the dinner table. Everybody was reconnecting. Lou and Shin were arguing, and once again, Sakamoto, in Shin's mind, kills them both in his head, and he's just like, "Would you stop doing that?"
Oh, my bad. Yeah. That's a funny trait that he always does.
Kill Shin in his mind.
Yeah,
That's gotta be a thing where you're just like, God, if you read people's minds and you think that you're dead, that's gotta fuck with you.
Yeah, he has to be just doing this on purpose. Like, this isn't like a fleeting thought of his. He's probably like, I know he's reading my mind right now. Let me go kill him.
Yeah. Don't read my wife's mind.
Yeah.
Don't read her memories. I will kill you.
He especially hates that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think that is was that it for Sakamoto Days?
Pretty much. Those episodes went by quick. Like I feel like I watched episode 9 and I was just like, man.
I think 70% of it is fighting. That's why.
Yeah, the cool part of that one fight scene was when Antler Boy thought that he was gone, and then Sakamoto literally just went boom in the train, runs right through it, and then just finds his way through and just boom punches through it. Yeah, that was fucking cool.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
The manga sequences are so great. The anime is doing a pretty decent job though. Good, decent to good job. So
yeah,
it's
doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, it's definitely serviceable. It's just the manga is like even more crazy and elevates the material that you see now.
Oh, I bet.
But
I'm almost curious to read it at this point.
Yeah. But I think that is it for Sakamoto Days. So we are getting into the last segment of the podcast, which is viewer questions.
Viewer questions.
We got 3 this time, so I'll go ahead and read the first one. If you can defeat an anime character, you take their powers. Who are you going after? Me, I'm going for Anya.
Who is this? By the way, that's not Sasuke that said that. That was what the question said. The question said, "I'm going for Anya," and I wonder who said that.
I guess they're saying that because they could beat up Anya or something. Which I don't know. Anya can fight.
Yeah, she's decent.
Yeah,
like she could definitely do something. Let's see. Take their powers. If you can defeat an anime character, see, the trick of that question is you would have to for sure defeat them. Like it's like, oh yeah, I want to be Goku. I can't defeat Goku.
Yeah.
There's no way I could even come close to that. So you would have to think somebody, maybe if you like got the jump on them or caught them by surprise, maybe you could take their powers that way. It's a good question. I don't really know much because I feel like every character that I'd want to take their powers would be a tough one to take. Like they'd be super strong. Like I said, unless I like poisoned them or something, like fed them some bad fish.
Yeah. I guess it's how are we defining defeat? We just gotta beat them up in a fight. Do we gotta actually kill them? How far is defeat going?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we just gotta beat them up, then I got a couple names in mind.
All right, what you got?
I'm probably gonna beat me up a magical girl.
Oh my gosh! Beat a ooh, that's actually a really good one. Get the jump on Homura and then just like choke her out.
I don't know about Homura because she can kind of do that time stop thing pretty fast, so she'll probably destroy you once she sees what you're doing.
That's true. That is true. Madoka, she's pretty much a god. Get her in her form where she like doesn't know how to use her powers or anything. Just come in and go get a sleep. Nelson right behind her. Just go to sleep. Go to sleep, and then you basically become god after you kill her.
Yeah.
I'll go with that one. It's not original, I know, but I'll go with that one.
Are there any people in My Hero I can beat up?
I feel like I feel like you could choke out Invisible Girl.
Maybe.
She-
I don't want her power though, because like for me to use her power to the full extent, I would need to be naked.
yeah, that is true. Full let me see. My hero.
Ooh, maybe somebody from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Ooh, you could like that's a good one because they only use their cards to fight. So, like I said, you just like poison somebody or just slit their throat while they're sleeping, and you just totally take their cards, and then you just become the duelist.
Yeah, because I could beat the shit out of Yami Yugi.
Midnight is in the chat. What's up, the two most sexy dudes on the internet? And Satsuki. Apparently, I'm too. Sailor Moon, while she's still stupid, is what Midnight said.
Oh, I guess. Okay.
I mean, hey, if you want to get those transforming sequences. I could read the next question. Which anime character would ask for chicken wings when you're the one buying a pizza?
Oh, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, the one we literally just talked about in Sakamoto days.
Oh, Ace K.
He would ask for everything, and while you're buying a pizza, he's like, "Can I have some wings?" No, you can't have some wings, man. And then he'd give you that stupid look. No.
You know who would do it? I got two people in mind who would do it, and I love them both too. Yato from Noragami.
From Noragami. Yeah.
He absolutely would do that.
100%.
And Vash.
Yes, he would.
I can
yes,
see
he
it.
would.
I feel like somebody in Attack on Titan. Oh, Sasha.
Sasha, she loves her fucking food. She would ask for wings. She'd be like, "You guys getting any wings?" No, eat your potato. Yeah, for sure. No, those are really good ones. Those are good ones.
Yeah.
I can't. Let me think of one more. Oh, Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen is asking for everything on the menu.
I feel like all three of them would well, except for Megami. Yuji would, Nobara would too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they really would. All of them would ask for it. In fact, the one asking for the wings is is ordering the pizza is Megumin.
He's getting the pizza.
And all three of them are saying different things. I want wings. I want breadsticks. I want dessert.
Yeah.
And he's just over there on the phone, just like, one pizza.
Yeah, I can see it. What's the last question is, which anime character is the best aura farmer? So,
Aura farmer?
so
You mean like has? What does that mean?
okay, because it's like a newer term. Aura farming. How's the best way I can describe this? Aura farming is like just trying to look cool.
Okay,
So, like
aura farming.
for example, like think of Kenpachi, or no. Think about like Yamato from Bleach flexing his spiritual pressure on everybody and like making them freeze up, something like that.
Okay, okay. So who's the best? Like who just has just the best aura? Who's just absolute?
Farmer.
It's definitely not Goku. He's the dorkiest man I know. He has no aura.
He can be an aura farmer though, because sometimes he does
Oh,
things that
when
are
he
completely unnecessary.
when he's locked in and he's serious and he's fighting villains, he can be an aura farmer. You're right, and not from Super either.
This is hard.
That is a good question, though. Especially this is something I just learned. So, uh,
I'm trying to think. Usually, you're gonna find these characters in like shonen.
yeah.
Is there anybody like that at ReZero? Kind of.
Puck.
I was going to say like Reinhardt, because he's
Ooh, yeah.
just
Reinhardt's a good one too.
yeah.
He's like, I am the fucking sword.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a really good one.
Yeah. It's too good of a question. It's too good. It's too powerful. Just like the aura of the character we can't think of.
Let me just say. Let me say Gilgamesh from Fate.
Ooh.
He is an aura farmer.
Go one farther. Freaking Ryder from Fate Zero is another good one too. I think that's dude is him. He literally is.
Another big one too. This is kind of like an underrated aura farmer. Alucard from Hellsing.
Okay, the main dude.
Yeah,
The with the hat and everything and the glasses.
because they always make it an effort to make him look as cool as possible and kill people in the craziest way.
I guess if we're going like that, another one that's fucking cool all the time, Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. The dude just oozes cool. Just he takes 2 steps and people are like, that guy's fucking cool.
Dio Brando from JoJo as well. That's another one.
Oh, pretty much anyone from JoJo that just has that walk is just an aura farmer.
Yeah.
What a new term I learned today.
These are good questions though. If you guys have questions for us, so we can answer them on the next podcast, check the description. You can submit your questions there. Also, check your description for our channels, our individual channels, EA's channel, my channel, C-Tactics channel. We also have a Patreon. It is only a single $1 for you to join, and you can see our backlog. We got Watamote, we got Pokemon, we got the Drunken Podcast. Yeah. And hopefully we have a lot more this month and the next coming months, because I think we had to get back on that.
Oh, for sure. We need
Yeah.
to get our butts back in gear.
For sure. For sure. Was there anything else to add?
No, I think that was it for me. You can, like I said, you can find us all down there. Thank you to all the new subscribers. We gained a couple because of the video that I put out there, the Supercut of '86. Glad y'all are liking the Supercut of '86. For the fans out there of '86, it's all episodes 1 through 23 in its entirety. You get to hear us discuss it, and back when it first came out. So our opinions on it were very fresh back then.
Yeah. Any ideas for another one you plan to do or wanted to do?
I definitely want to do on a Spy Family because that's coming out later this year.
Okay.
Maybe I was thinking maybe One Punch Man, but we only talked about season 2.
Yeah.
On the podcast, we didn't talk about one, so it'd be kind of weird just to do that. Ranger Rejects, is that coming out in April?
I think so.
Maybe that'll be my next. Maybe that'll be my next one, just to get people ready for the next one. So, if that's the case, I'll just do that. Ranger Rejects.
Okay.
But definitely a Spy Family in the future. Ranger Rejects. I did one of my Dress Up Darling of the first season, but yeah, that's all I have right now. But yeah, get ready for those. Those will be fun to watch.
For sure. Again, appreciate everybody who joined us tonight for the podcast. Hopefully we had the full house. And yeah, we'll see y'all until then. Peace.
Later.